So today's big focus is on blending. So you can see I already added on the layers of coils that I'm going to work with for my blending here. I wanted to show you that if I were to keep adding more of these coils on before I blend, it's going to be hard for me to actually reach on the inside of my vase to get these ones that are already attached blended really well. So that's kind of a key thing too, is you got to blend every so often so that way it's easy for you to reach into where you need to kind of accomplish the blending. Now here's a different method that I want to teach you. So some of you have just been using your finger, which totally can work, but you can also use one of these tools, and if you work in a real rapid fashion, you can really do a good job at getting a lot of those lines to disappear. You could say I'm actually digging into the clay. Because my clay is thick enough, I've got extra clay to work with to be able to make this work well. Notice that I'm really supporting the project with my hand on the inside, so that way I've got some counter pressure to what I'm doing on the outside. Okay, so after you've made your way all the way around, you want to do a similar kind of thing on the inside. It's going to be a little bit harder for you to work with that, especially once you start having a smaller opening. So for example, what I would be doing with mine most likely is kind of going from the inside and pulling up with my blending and just doing the best that I can. Maybe using a wooden modeling tool that had a little bit of a larger kind of edge to it would work better for the inside. The next part that I want to talk about for smoothing is using the rib tools. Now I've got all sorts of shapes of rib tools. Some of them are a little bit more round on the edge. Now this is kind of like a counter round, so it could work well for kind of like this edge here. But the straight edge is actually really something that's nice to work with too. You just take a little bit of moisture. So I've got some slip in a cup here. Get the edge nice and wet. And then you can use that to further smooth and get rid of any lines. You can really see how that makes the whole surface get really nice and smooth. Okay, you really got to make sure that both the inside and the outside are blended really well in your project. Then you can even go back over with your hand, because your hand is kind of like a real, even smoother than a rib tool, kind of like add some more smoothness to your project. That's going to be the best way to get a nice smooth look. All right?